A. What looked down on the child? The moon and stars looked down on the child. B. How was the child sitting posture? The child was crouching on a stone on the side of the dike. Explicit. His head was bent, eyes closed, but he was not asleep. He seemed worried, tensioned, because he was holding back the angry sea. What did he do now and then? A, B, C, D. Every now and he had rubbed the hand was holding back the angry sea. E. What was his hand doing? His hand was holding back the angry sea. As he walked along, he sometimes stopped to pick the pretty blue flowers that grew beside the road, or to listen to the rabbit's soft tread and the rustle to the grass. But oftener he smiled as he thought of his visit to the poor blind man who had so few pleasures and was always so glad to see him. A. Why did he stop? He stopped to pick the pretty blue flowers or to listen to the rabbit's soft tread as he rustled through the grass. B. How were the flowers? The flowers were pretty and blue. C. What did he listen to? He listened to the rabbit's soft tread, the sound of rabbits rustling through the grass. D. How was this sound caused? The sound was caused by rabbits moving, rustling through the grass. E. What did he think of? He thought of his visit to the poor blind man who had so few pleasures and was always glad to see him. Question 4, paragraph. Peter understood the danger at once. If the water ran out a little hole, it would soon make a larger one, and the whole country would be flooded. In a moment he saw what he must do. Throwing away his flowers, he climbed down the side of the dike and thrust his finger into the tiny hole. A. What did Peter understand? He understood that if water ran through the little hole, it would soon enlarge and the whole country would have flooded. What will happen to the little hole? B. And become larger and potentially flood the country if not stopped. C. What will happen if the hole became larger? The whole country would be flooded. D. Where did he climb? He climbed down the side of the dike. E. What did he do? He threw away his flowers, climbed down the dike, and thrust his finger into the tiny hole to stop the leak. Section B. Comprehension. Questions from the passage about Holland. 1a. What is the geographical setup of Holland? Holland is a country where much of the land lies below sea level. It has great walls called dikes that keep the North Sea from flooding the land. 2b. How is the land prevented from flooding? The land is protected by dikes, strong walls built to hold back the sea and prevent water from rushing in. 3c. Have the people contributed to the safety of their country? Yes, for centuries the people of Holland have worked to keep the dikes strong and ensure the country remains safe and dry. 4d. Are the little children aware of the importance of dikes? Yes, even little children know that dikes must be watched every moment because a hole longer than a finger can be very dangerous. 5e. Can a hole in the dike cause danger? Yes, a hole no longer than your finger can be very dangerous as may lead to flooding if not fixed. 2a. How old was Peter? Peter was 8 years old. 3b. What was he doing when his mother called him? He was playing outside with friends near the dike. A. Rearrange the sentences in a paragraph. 1. Peter was returning home. Just then he heard a noise. This is the sound of trickling water. He climbed down the side of the dike and thrust his finger into a tiny hole and stopped the flow of water. Early next morning, a man saw Peter, understood the bad situation, and sent for help. People came running with shovels, and the hole was soon mended. One people came running with shawls, and the hole was soon mended. 2. Early next morning, a man saw Peter, understood the bad situation, and sent for help. 3. Just then he heard a noise that was the sound of trickling water. 4. He climbed down the side of the dike and thrust his finger to the tiny hole and stopped the water flow. 5. Peter was returning home. B. Comprehension assignment. Done. 1. Holland is a country where much of the land lies below sea level. Only great walls called dikes keep the North Sea from rushing in and flooding the land. For centuries, the people of Holland have worked to keep the walls strong so that their country will be safe and dry. Even the little children know the dikes must be watched every moment, and that a hole no longer than your finger can be a very dangerous thing. 2. One afternoon in the early fall, when Peter was 8 years old, his mother called him from his play. Come, Peter, she said. I want to go across the dike and take those cakes to your friend, the blind man. If you go quickly and do not stop to play, you'll home again before dark.